I'm going to start off with doing the trace videos. My idea for this was doing something similar to the whole egg thing that's going around now, where you make your trace, then you nominate 2 or 3 people to do their traces. We can then afterwards, I load it up to YouTube and share it with everyone. You can have a look at it, give positive feedback, or maybe give some improvement on the trace itself. For the uploading, I would suggest just send me a direct message saying you want to upload the video, then I can give you access to a Google Drive folder that I created. You can upload the video there, then I can upload it onto YouTube. You can either do the editing yourself if you want editing, or you can send it to me and I can do some editing again if you want some. Otherwise I can just load it up directly. If you're struggling with the uploading, contact me, I can maybe help you. But if you don't have access to maybe a PC where you can upload it to Google Drive, or I mean you can do it from your phone as well. Most Androids you have to have a Google account. With the Android you have to have a Google account. But otherwise you can also send it via WhatsApp. The only issue with WhatsApp is it reduces the size of the video, so when you upload it to YouTube the quality isn't all that great. But yeah, let's get started. I'm going to start off with 3 traces that I use on the reefs. First one is going to be my cob trace that I normally use in the summer months on the strand reefs. Second one will be scratching trace that I normally use in boat hunt or areas where there's a variety of species. And then lastly, I'm going to do my Villiers trace for the winter months on the reefs. Obviously not specific to Villiers, but they're normally my target species when I'm fishing on the reefs. Right, let's start off with what I'll be using. Start with the line. First of all, for my Villiers trace. I use the 0.45 Kingfisher giant abrasion. For the cob trace, I use the 0.70 Kingfisher leader line. And then for my scratching trace, there's also I use the 0.59 Maxima Ultra Green. On my cob trace, normally I love to add a little biting trace of 30-pound steel, and then I've just got this. It's not really, that's just old line. I think it's 0.40. There was an old reel of mine that I just use for my sinker traces. The hooks that I'm gonna use for the cob, so 0.80 circle, demon circle. Then for the Villiers trace, I use a 1/0 circle. And then your scratching trace, I've got on the top hook, I normally have the 1/0 circle, and then the bottom a 6/0 demon circle. Then the swivels, this is for my cob trace, it's single swivels for running trace. For the scratching trace and my Villiers trace, I use these swivels. I don't know if you get them there, I ordered them from Wish. They work pretty well. I wouldn't catch a big fish on them though, but for your winter species they work pretty well. That thing reduces the entanglement, as that metal swivel can go around, and they're just obviously my floats.
So watch where our bodies finally go.
just gonna run through the traces again. So start off with the carp trace. So I've got the top one is my beginning of the season when the larger carp are around, and the bottom one is the end of the season where you've got a lot of alpha also in the water. So you've got a little biting trace there with 2 floats. Then you've got the 0.70 trace line, your swivel, which is on a running trace, and then here's your sinker trace, where I'd like to use the but shorter sinker trace just to prevent the sinker from getting stuck, or to reduce the sinkers getting stuck, and also when you're fighting a fish so that sinker doesn't drag along the bottom. The scratching trace, so start at the top. So at the top you've got your 0.45 line with the 0.10 or with the 10 hook, circle loop with the large float. Then your main line here is 0.70, and your bottom hook you've got 0.59 with a 6/0 circle loop with a smaller float. Then you've got your short little sinker trace there. The reason for the large float and the small float is simple. So you want the top one obviously to float a little bit more up in the water column, and the bottom one just to stay off the bottom so it doesn't get stuck. So it would also prevent, when there's a lot of movement in the water itself, from these two getting stuck onto each other. So in general, on the top hook I will use something like white mussel, prawn, or red bait. For your bankfish, like your galjoen, wildepaard and all that kind of stuff. And then the bottom hook I will generally put a piece of chokka on there, so maybe you can get a little cobby if it's in the area. Then your galjoen trace, so you have got the 10 circle loop there connected to 0.45 mono with the large float, with your swivel, and then your short sinker trace. I prefer using a fixed trace for galjoen. As soon as it hits that bait with the circle hook, it's hooked. I also prefer using a bit lighter mono. Some people use a bit thicker, but I prefer going a bit lighter. I see you get a little bit more bites during the winter, especially when the water's a bit clear and it's a bit cold. Also use the large floats just to get a lot more movement. And sometimes the areas that I fish is very, it's very nasty, so you want to keep that hook out of the structure. And also I tend to use a lot of red bait when I use red bait. So that was it. So my nominations will then be for Mr. Grant Meyer and Meneer Heinrich Trampelman to do your videos. Send them in, and then we can go from there. Thank you.